talk about both games. I'm talking about one more extensively than the other one. But let's talk about the Denver Broncos and the New England Patriots game first. So now, if you can remember now, I did a show and I kind of talked about what Denver had to do to kind of win that game. And I kind of said that although the quarterback was out, that the coach was a good coach and that he can manage that quarterback in that game. And the defense was that good that it would keep them in the game. And all of that was correct. All of it. Except for he meaning the coach, didn't manage the game. He managed the game. He managed the quarterback the best he could, and they kept him in the game. But the one thing that he did wrong was not take the points in the second quarter. So it was it was obviously it was going to be a defensive game, period. And to not take the points, was huge. They should have taken the points. That would have put them up by 2 scores. They would have put them up by 2 scores. It would have been 10-0 in a defensive game. And then, it was the tale of 2 games. Where 3 quarters, and then 1 quarter. Because in the first, second, and third quarter, I believe it was cold, but it was a nice it wasn't overcast. The sun was out a little bit, and by the time the fourth quarter came, man, you couldn't even tell where the down markers were on the field. You didn't know where you were, and so you had wind gustling from. Swirling from everywhere. You had snow blowing in your face, and it was cold. And ice on the field. So it was no way that if you didn't score, if you didn't have points then, you wouldn't get no points. Because it was that bad, out there as far as the conditions on the field. So they lost the game 10-7. And they didn't take the points. They were up 7-0. And that was on Sean Payton. I thought it was a terrible call at the time. And that's been the trend in the NFL these days, man. These analytics or whatever, they say, go for it. It's the first freaking quarter. The game ain't decided. And why not just take the 3 points? I don't understand it. Just take the 3 points, and that'll put you up by 2 scores. Then it so happened the defense was pitching a shutout. If the quarterback just take the sack and just not try to make a play that not try to do things that you're not accustomed to doing, they don't even score a touchdown. New England don't. They gift after them that touchdown when they turned the ball over inside the 10-yard line. So if they don't do that, if he just take the sack and punt the ball, you have an elite defense. Elite defense. Let me say that again. An elite defense who stymied New England the entire game. New England couldn't do nothing. I don't care. Even before the snow and the ice and the wind, they couldn't even hardly move the ball. The Denver Broncos defense was top notch. So why not let them go out there and do what they do? Don't take no chances. The quarterback, that was a costly mistake on the quarterback part. And that cost them. But that didn't cost the game because they still had a chance. to win the game. They had plenty of other opportunities to to win, to have a different outcome. But if they take the points, even with that score, it's 10-7 right there. At the very least, you get yourself, it's 10-10 going into that blizzard in that fourth quarter. So now, it's like, I don't know which team will win at that point because the condition was so bad that neither one of them could move the ball, but they would have kept playing until somebody did something. Eventually, somebody would have won, but they would have had a chance. So they had no chance. Once that fourth quarter came. Excuse me. Once that fourth quarter came, and nobody was. Oh man, it was they had no chance. They just had no chance. After that. So that was that. So that was that game. So New England on excuse me to the Super Bowl. Period. But let's talk about that other game. That's the one I really want to talk about. Let me tell you why. So I had the Rams. Excuse me. The Rams were they were here in St. Louis in the area. So people talk about the Cowboy fans, how we are as far. They say, oh, we think we're supposed to win every game, blah blah, just different stuff. Where I can tell you this right now, I believe the Rams are just as bad, if not worse. All the fans they really done got beside themselves. They're a good organization. They got a hell of a coach, top 3 coach in the league. They have a young defensive line that's good. Defense solid. Matthew Stafford is a dog. Puka, freaking Devontae Adams, killers. We know that. All that. Yep. I'll be the first one to admit it. So, we know this. But the problem is, they went into this. So let me just go here. They say it's like different stages of grief, and I'm sure they are. I don't know what they are. But I know they are different stages of grief. And so I kind of want to talk about that as it relates to football. We got different stages, and I got some illustrations that I want to show you in regards to stages of grief with football fans. All right. So now I'm gonna show you this first picture. Here we go. That right there. That is a St. Louis Ram fan, right? That's a St. Louis Ram fan that's with the cocky. Know they gonna win. That's the cockiness. That's the first stage right there. Cockiness as it relates to grief in football. That right there. Cockiness. Just we just finna show up and win. That's what that is right there. Cockiness. That first one, that's that cocky, arrogant, disposition that the St. Louis Ram fans have, that they give off. Here we go again. I'm gonna show you again. There he is. Cocky. We got this. We just need to show up. We just got to show up, right? That's what they think. We just got to show up. But that's the first stage. Now, the second one, here we go. That right there, that is okay, all right, man, okay. So I'm going to tell you when that stage happened. That was in the second quarter. If you remember now, the Rams were, Seattle jumped out on top, went up about 10 points or 11 or somewhere up in there. At that stage right there, that was like all right, okay, we back. I thought we could, we back. Okay, I was scared, but I'm cool. We cool. We back. So yeah, so that was that stage right there of okay, whew, but we still the Rams. Now we finna go out here and we are a We are a machine. That's what they call themselves. And now we're finna go out here and dominate. That's what that was right there. All right. So now, let me show it to you again. There it is. They're saying they finna dominate. We back. That was that one. So now we're going to the third stage of the football grief. It's right here. All right. That, my friends, is in the fourth quarter when they starting to realize, man, we could lose this game. Look at the face. Oh yeah, it's a look of concern. Oh, it's a look of concern on that face. Oh yeah, it is a look of concern on that face at that point in time. Let me show you again. Here we go. Concern. You're like, man, we might lose. Shoot, that's that face. Look at it. Take a good look. Concern. Another stage of grief. That's the third stage of grief is concern right there. All right. Now here we go. Now here we go. It's the fourth stage right here. Here we go. Excuse me. That right there is the fourth stage of grief. Now, I'm going to tell you what this means. You see the balloon? Oh, that's before the game. Oh, they celebrating. We going to the Super Bowl. That's what that balloon was for. Oh, yeah, it's a party. It's a party. But then him being asleep, that's them getting knocked the fuck out. That's what that is. That's the Rams getting knocked the fuck out. Excuse my French. No, that's the Rams getting knocked out. They get knocked out. Let me show you again. Now. Because this is the knockout stage of grief. Bam, right there. Balloon, party, sleep, knockout. Balloon, party, sleep, knockout. One more time. There we go. That's the Rams getting knocked out. Right there. All right. Now, it's one more phase. It's one more phase, to this grief. Now, you go through all of that. But, so, you got to come out of it. All right? You can't stay in that space forever. So, and this is the most important stage of it right here. This is the most important stage of this, and it's called the recovery stage. It's when you realize that, hey, tomorrow it's going to be a better day. And here it is right here. You see that? You see that? You see the smile on that young man's face? You see that? You see what he got on his head? So that is him. Let me show you the first one. That's that man in that Rams gear, right? That's the first stage of this grief. Here we go. That's him after he done went through all of that. Now he back. He said, man, I can get through this. So he went on, came over to the Cowboy Nation, donned the hat, and jumped on our bandwagon. And that's what I'm talking about. He went from freaking this stage of the grief all the way. He done went through all the fire. He went through it all. And now, there he is. So I just wanted to, just touch on that, man, because, this football, man, people go through some stuff, with these teams and, this grief. And I just want to let you know that it ain't always going to be like that. It's always something better. And he got something better. So, it's been fun. This old boy got to run.